Hey everybody, welcome to another video. Hopefully this one turns out a little bit more professional slash better than my previous one. In this one I wanted to talk more about investing specifically. I am on TGC Player right now with all the sets, and I figured I would just go over some of the plays that I had in mind for this year, and maybe some more of the obvious ones that a lot of the other people are talking about. But before I go any further, I do want to say when it comes to investing or collecting, make sure you are collecting things you like and you're not just doing it for the money, because I see a lot of people in this space only worried about the money. Obviously we want our cards to have value and the things we have to be rare, but you don't want the integrity of the hobby to get compromised and the kids not being able to actually have cards. Also, I did want to say one thing too. One thing that really annoys me is people that don't know the definition between, or I guess have it skewed, what a scalper is and an investor. In my eyes, I feel like an investor is someone who holds product long term and plans on putting it back into circulation later, be it 4-5 years, kind of on that kind of long term. Where a scalper, I feel like, is more of a flipper. You're gonna buy it, and within the next week, few months, you're trying to sell it for an instant profit. We could both, our definitions could be different, but before I go any further with this channel, I want you all to know how I feel about that, at least when we talk about investing. With no further ado though, let's go ahead and hop into this. So the main thing that I have been kind of having my eye on is specialty sets. And obviously the big play right now would be prismatic. If you don't have a lot of prismatic, get it. I would go for the ETBs if you can. Those are pretty cheap still. Probably as cheap as they'll get. I mean, they're probably only going to get higher. The SPCs are always a good investment. You don't need me really to tell you that anything prismatic is going to hold some value over long term. So if you don't have any prismatic, try to get in a good spot with that set. And even with maybe a little bit more urgency, I would say 151, since that is going out of rotation here soon. I think April is when its 2-year mark hits. That's going to be with a lot of these other sets, like Paldea Evolved, and I forget what block. But when it comes to the product, I'll say if you can get your hands on some Pokemon Center ETBs, I would definitely try to go for that. I was lucky enough to acquire a case a while ago, so I'm going to sit on that, and I have only one regular ETB right now. I don't plan on getting more since they're already 300. And sadly, I don't have a SPC, so I might be trying to invest and get one of those before they get out of reach. But 151 would be the next set I would be looking at if you have the funds. I know a lot of these sets right now are at the point where it's like you have to probably dedicate, a check. Well, not a check, but if you get paid like me every 2 weeks, Then I'm waiting about 2 weeks to probably get like an ETB or something. The set though that I really want to touch in a little bit that I don't think a lot of people are talking about enough is Black Bolt and White Flare. I feel like these two sets right here are pretty underrated for how high of a value the set is. It has really good chase cards, and for some reason, I feel like the price on these are just low. They don't have them on here, but I guess I'll go to eBay real quick. I know that when I am shopping for specialty sets, you want to look at the display boxes, because these are basically the booster boxes of specialty sets. And when I'm looking through here, you can get, well, these are all bids, but I know I had some that I was eyeballing that you can get these for about 500. Let me see if I have it right here. You get 2 of these. Well, still another bid, but I feel like if I go to, let's go to the sold listings real quick and see what these are selling for. Alright, so these are going for about, what, about $6.50 a piece for 2 of these. That's pretty good in my book for a sealed display, when a lot of these are starting to get above 1,000. I did say that some of these are going out of print here soon, so you might want to start looking at this first if you're one of those people that haven't put any time in investing into this set. I haven't acquired me one of these yet. I'm going to try. This is probably my first buy before I go to the black and white. That's kind of the route I am taking with my investing, is I stick to the specialty sets that I like, and I feel like these booster bundle displays are the best way to go, especially long term, because like, look at the picture. Like, who wouldn't want something cool like that on their shelf? It's a pretty cool display piece. And then I did want to make a point with specialty sets. I feel like they're in their own category. I mean, the only time I could say that a specialty set hasn't done the greatest is the infamous Shrouded Fable, but I feel like even over time this set will end up doing something. But I feel like all these sets that are, I guess you would call the specialty sets, have always seemed to be the ones that go up in value. I can go back to when I first started collecting. Let me see if I can find it. If you watched my first video, I told you that I got into Pokemon I got back into it with Celestial Storm, and I got into Dragon Majesty, and I collected the heck out of that. And this set barely has any hits, but the products on here are still pretty high. I don't know why there's no listings on here for the products, but I think the ETB is like $700 something for this set. And one other set I wanted to talk about, which I need to get a little bit more of, is Hidden Fates. This set is amazing, and if you don't have anything of this set, I would snag at least one ETB. Let's see if I can find the price on these. I think they're like 400. Yeah. That's not bad for a specialty set that's been out for a while. and I feel like this was the one that kind of started it off. And if you weren't around for that, then I guess you weren't. But I know how hype Pokemon was during that set. And on that note, I kind of want to move into more of some of the obvious plays. If you're into Sword and Shield, I am not really myself, but for the people that are, let's go ahead and touch a little bit on that. Obvious buys, Evolving Skies. The booster box on this is going to be about around 2,000 or 2,300. Let's see if I can find the price on this. There we go, 2,100 is what they're going for. That's not bad for an Evolving Skies box. Depending on your budget, just either try to save up for one massive purchase, or just start going for a lot of the smaller stuff that I mentioned earlier. Alright, let's go back to the first page. Sorry, I'm a little bit scattered. I am just kind of winging this as far as like where I wanted to go with it. I would say another obvious play is Destined Rivals. If you don't have a booster box of this, I would at least grab one. This could see a reprint, but when it comes to booster boxes, I think you should be safe, because even if Pokemon Center does reprint booster boxes, which they have already, I don't see it dropping more than $50. It's been the case with most reprints that I've seen, especially with the boxes. And if you do have the money, I would always go for a case if you can invest in it. And this is long term, of course, because one thing I know, at least I put a lot of thought into, is how the quality of the boxes later, and them being in a case will make sure that they're nice and minty. And I know collectors, that is a huge deal, and it's just a lot easier to, I guess you're paying for that. That's the premium on a box, is that that you should be getting a nice minty box, 6 of them to be exact, and that's what people look for. And hopefully in the future, if you hold on to these, you'll be able to get that premium back later. So one last thing that's catching my eye that I don't know if many people are talking about, but they could be, Ascended Heroes. There's not much out about it yet. You might have, if you were able to get the Pokemon Center pre-orders for the ETB and the booster bundles, congrats. That was a good hit right there. I do think this will be a very good set to invest in. If you've looked at the cards, it has the Gengar, the Dragonite, the Charizard, and I feel like I was saying before, specialty sets are where my eyes are usually at, and I feel like if you don't have any money right now, and everything I said before as far as the sets, you are like, okay, I don't like black and white, prismatic, all that's too expensive now, I would just wait for this set to release, save your money, and once they come out with the booster bundle displays for this, I am going to be curious how much those will go for. If it's anything close to what black and white is right now, like $600, $700, I would say it's an instant buy. Anything for a booster bundle display under $1,000, in my eyes, is just a buy. This set, like I said, is just going to be a good one. The card set seems to be pretty nice, and from what I've seen, it's supposed to be the biggest set. Actually, yeah, I think it's the biggest set that's come out so far. I was gonna say, trying to compare it to something, but I think it is the biggest one. These other sets, Mega Evolution, I would say would be a nice set. Maybe get 1 or 2 booster boxes of that, just because any set that has a high value to it will have some investment quality in the future. And when I'm talking investing, I'll say again, this is long term, many years. If you're looking for something to flip and get quick money out of, this isn't what you're looking for. Phantasmal Flames, I would say the same thing. Maybe get a box of that, just because the Charizard in that set is going to be or go down as one of the best Charizards to ever come out. And it'd be nice in the future to have one, because the thing about any of these sets is they could short print any one of them. So my strategy is I usually go out, get a box or 2 of each one at the beginning from the Pokemon Center if I get lucky, and if I don't, I don't. I will make another video about Pokemon Center stuff later. Hopefully you guys are able to get products from there. I just got back into trying to get boxes and all that for sets. I just started in Journey Together, so I have 2 booster boxes for Journey Together. I got 1 for Destined Rivals, and then I got 2 for Mega Evolution and 2 for Phantasmal Flames. And that's kind of where I'm starting at right now. Hopefully you guys have put a little bit of your feet in the water and have gotten some good plays in. This year, I think for now I have my eyes on Ascended Heroes, and for now I think I will end this on that note. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and thanks for watching. If you could like, subscribe, comment, I appreciate it, and I will keep trying to make these videos a little better each time. I'll eventually get around to doing some edits, but for now you're going to have to just watch me make my little mistakes and all that. Alright guys, later.